What's up? Welcome back. Another episode of Electron Talk, episode 31 today, with the inaugural coconut LaCroix. Again, LaCroix, LaCroix, however you say it. Please sponsor me. I promise I'll treat you right. I love coconut. Coconut's one of the best flavors. Check this out. Whoa. I might have got some droplets on my gear. Oh, it's so good. You know, it's 90 degrees out right now in Seattle in May. It's like another world. It's totally crazy. It's too hot, frankly. I like hot weather, but it's too hot for Seattle because we don't have the infrastructure for hot heat like this. Like, we don't have AC units in our homes here. We're used to the depressing rain and the gloomy gray. That's not something that we have right now. Right now, it's beautiful out. I feel like I'm back in Florida. I lived there for like 5 years, and I would like to go back, to be honest. I really liked it there quite a bit. Today, on the stream, we're going to check out the Mood. The Chase Bliss MOOD MKII, which I've already discovered that it's awesome. It's just amazing. So let's switch over. Here it is, this purple little box, which I have linked up with the OP1 field. Let me tell you why I paired the MOOD MKII with the OP1 field, and why I think this is a smart pairing, even though I'm sure like this is like anybody who owns an OP1 field and was like, I'm gonna get a MOOD MKII, they probably all are doing this same thing, but there's good reason for it. And that's because stereo, this is a very stereo synthesizer, the OP1 field is, and the MOOD MKII is one of its crowning new features is that it's got stereo. And I do have stereo spread turned on. That's something that you turn on with the dip switches in the back. So it's got some big stereo spread, and I'm going to do some demos of that. But this isn't a stream about the MOOD MKII. We're going to use the MOOD MKII with the OP1 to make some dubby, deep house vibes. We'll see how it goes, whether it turns into dub or deep house. I don't really know, but that's definitely the direction that we're going. And I do think it sounds awesome. I mean, Chase Bliss like rarely lets anybody down with their pedals. I think maybe never. I'm not sure. I don't have a bunch of Chase Bliss. This is my first one. And I'm really glad I got it because it hasn't disappointed in any way at all. Just double checking. I hope that everyone can hear me well. And let's check the audio really quick and see if you can hear this. I think you can hear that. The OP1 field sounds pretty good. I mean, it's not like a sequential big poly synth. Like, it doesn't sound that good, but it sounds good enough. You can get a lot of work done with it. It's pretty cool. It's definitely a great sampler. So, as some of you may know, I released the Octatrack Ultimate Effects Template 1.0 just a few days ago with great reception. Really grateful to see how many people really liked it. Everybody's just been really positive about it, which is nice. You know, there's a few people who have their ideas of what would be a better effects processor, but, and maybe they're right. I don't know. Who's to say, right? But I do think that if you own an Octatrack Mark I or Mark II, and you're not doing anything with it, and you're trying to have some performance effects, that my performance template is going to, it's going to up your game in terms of like how your live performance feels, because it just has these riser effects and delays and reverbs, which I'm going to update with more reverb stuff, because somebody did mention that there's not a bunch of lush reverbs like there was in my other template. So I'm going to add those back in, some more reverb stuff. so that we can get more reverb washes. Otherwise, I'm really pleased with it. People seem to really like it. I did update it recently, so it's had some minor changes to it. I'm going to update it again with some more changes until I think it's perfect. I don't think it's perfect yet, but it's pretty close to getting there. But whatever. That's not what this stream is all about. I do want to talk about analog heat plus effects. That's not what this is. This is a Mark I heat, which you could probably get for like $50 right now because everybody's offloading their analog heats, Mark IIs and Mark Is. I've had the Mark I since it first came out. I remember when it was first released, I had an Octatrack and I had a Digitakt, or I had an Octatrack. It was before the Digitakt. And I got an analog heat with my Octatrack, and it was just, I thought it was the coolest thing ever, but I was just using it in a really simple way. I was using exactly how I'm using it right now. I haven't really changed it. I do think that it's a great effects processor, but I do have, let me tell you my thoughts on the analog heat Mark II plus effects from the demos that I've heard and from just the videos that I've seen of people's experiences with it. All I have is going off of what I've read and what I've seen on YouTube. And I gotta say, I'm pretty confused. I'm a little confused by it. I don't know what to do with it. If I had it here, I don't know what I would do with it that's different than what I already do with my Mark I, except for one thing. It has this bass to mono thing, so you can take, or bass to mono, I guess that's the best, I think that is kind of like what it's called, but it has this you can take a stereo signal if it's got phasing in it, and you can mono a certain part of your stereo spectrum. So you could just take a part of your whole audio and then mono it down from an EQ standpoint. So you can mono like the lows, for instance, which is what I would do. So if I had the analog heat Mark II plus effects, I would probably use it the exact same way I'm already using it, except for I wouldn't try and mimic a compressor with a envelope follower on here. I would just use the digital compressor. I would maybe take the compressors out of my template for myself and use that as my master compressor. I would use the mono effect to squash down my lows so that they're all in mono, just so I have a better live sound, so it's not so phasey or too like bassy weird. It's a nice thing if you could sum it down to mono. And I think that's all I would do with it. As far as like the warble and the delay and the reverb, unless I'm running one synthesizer through the analog heat plus effects, I'm not going to use those effects. But I do think for somebody who's just like an electron freak like I am, that I'm just going to end up buying it anyway, right? I'm going to end up getting it and using it just as I mentioned, which is something I don't need to spend $1,000 to do, but I'll do anyway, just because. I don't have a good answer. Because there's probably other options I could look into. Would be really cool if I could afford that stimming box. That thing would be sick. Das a lot of tact. What's up, friends in the stream? How's everybody doing? So, all right. Let's make some music, shall we? I am gonna start playing with the mood. So, a little bit about the mood. I can't like show you too much about it because I like the camera where it is right now, so I can't zoom in on it, but I can just tell you there's 3 sections on the mood. And over here we have this kind of like multi-effects section. So it's like reverb, delay, and there's this thing called slip if you put this toggle to the far right. And slip's like this like auto glitchy type effect that glitches incoming signals as they're coming in. And then down the middle we have mix, and then we have a sample rate reduction, which also reduces the time. So it like slows things down and repitches and semitones, unless you use a dip switch on the back and make it so that it smoothly moves through pitch. I do prefer it with the semitone thing. It makes it really easy for me to make music. So that's how we're going to use it. I do have spread turned on it, so everything's real big and stereo, even though we're going to sample into the Digitakt, which is going to bring everything right back down to mono, which I already did once. You can hear what it sounded like before. It sounds good. We're going to do that again, because I've just been kind of messing around. And then on the far right side, we have the micro looper, and that's what makes this special, right? You have the micro looper, and you have these multi-effects, and it sounds really good. It's a lot of fun. I'm sure that it's really great with a guitar, which I do play guitar, and I have a lot of guitars. But you know, we're hanging out here on the table with these pieces of gear, so that's where the mood's going. The reason why I wanted to use the OP1 field, besides that it's stereo, is because it has so many different kinds of sounds in it. We have physical modeling type sounds, we have sampled sounds, we have drums, we have piano sounds. All that stuff's going to sound really good running through the Mood Mark II. So this is a great instrument to use with it, because any sampler, I could, you know, use the Digitakt with it, but we're going to sample into the Digitakt, so that's not really in the cards for us. I guess I'm a freak. What's up, Mr. Ravioli? Can you MIDI sync it to get sync loops? Raw speed, and that's a great question. Yes, you can, actually. And you can also sync this side with this side. So you can sync the looper to the delay's delay time, and you can sync the delay to the looper's time. So you have to pick one or the other. But there is a Chase Bliss MIDI box, which I did order because that was the first thought I had, Ross Beaton, was exactly that. Can I sync this to my gear so I can get perfect loops and perfect delays and stuff, and use this as a live performance effect for some like cool ambient washes, which is something I don't really do in my live music. And I thought this would be a cool addition for doing that. So you can, it uses the expression input, which is doubles as their MIDI input. Yeah, MIDI / external, it says. So, no, expression's on the other side. So this does CV, so you can actually use it with your Eurorack. But no, it has a MIDI input right over here, which is great. And I'm going to use it with that, but I don't have it yet, so it hasn't arrived. But God, I wish I could. I wish I could. What? Analog Heat Plus Effects is amazing. Highly recommend. Highly. Well, I want it. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I want Analog Heat Plus Effects. Why wouldn't I want? I want it. Trust me. This is a Mark 1. Like my screen miraculously healed on my Mark 1. This screen did not work for years. It just like started working again. I don't know. Maybe it's alive or something. I'm not really sure. But I'm glad that it's back in action. I'm honestly just using the Heat with this setup because I can. Because I was inspired by the Heat Plus Effects to do something like that. But frankly, it's not doing very much for me right now. I'm using compressors over here. It's just doing a little bit of saturation. You could probably barely tell the difference. I did gain match it, so when it's deactive and active, that it is at the same volume. You can just kind of feel that there's just a little bit of warmth, as they would say. A little bit of saturation circuit running through my mix. I do like that it gives me a master volume knob, which is not how the Octatrack's volume knob works. So I think that's an advantage to it as well, just from a convenience standpoint and from a live perspective standpoint, rather than having to go to the mixer and it might not be your mixer. There's my dog doing her favorite thing, barking at the children outside. I don't know what the deal with that. Barking at kids. Another custom stand next to the Octa. There is, actually. All right, well, yeah, I mean, you brought it up. So, yeah, we made more stands. I got a new crossbar for the Electron risers. They're modular now. See, there's multiple grooves. So now, this is using a modular one. So it's like, just in case you have a different, too many cables coming out, the feet have to go somewhere from these stands. So now there's different spots. And we measured the different spots. See how this works? So now you can put the feet in different positions. We measured the different spots, or you can add another whole leg to it if you wanted. We measured the spots as I try and finish my own set. I interrupt myself. We measured the spots so that so they are like perfectly set up between like the USB and the headphone jack, because those are the ones that you're the least likely to use. So there are spots that just fit there with the edge and the headphone and the USB. So these are built for Electron boxes. Yeah, these crossbars are what ships with the new one. It's not in the shop yet, but I'm going to put a listing for it probably tonight, so you can pick these up if you want. But we love them. We do. And I love it because I'm able to fit so much more in front of the camera, which makes it more fun for me because I get to use more gear on stream and when I'm hanging out with you guys for episode 31 of Electron Talk. Technically, more like 35. I ran it into the RME Fireface. I just got it. I used it for the Focusrite i18 for a minute. Very smart. Awesome to see live use inform product design. Thank you, Modular Bias. I appreciate that. EZBOT, you are still a magician in my eyes. How did you manage to get that battery-powered Octatrack? All right, let me just tell you. Here's how you get the battery-powered Octatrack. You find somebody who's willing to gather all the parts to build you the custom battery, and I was lucky enough to have a friend do that for me. I didn't do it. They sent me all the parts, and about 2 years of it sitting in my room here in the studio, did I ask a friend to install it in my second Octatrack, because I didn't want to put it in this one, because I was afraid I was going to brick my Octatrack or something. Even though it is only 2 solder points to get it connected to your Octatrack. And that's it. That's it. There's enough room inside here. You can't do it on the Syntakt, because the Syntakt has too much hardware inside the box. And I don't think you can do it on the analog heat. I don't think you'd want to anyway. But in the Octatrack and the Digitakt, I think it's probably the most useful on your Digitakt, since it's more compact as it is. And you can use it just to go sample everything. But that's it. That's all I did. We need patch cables that are perfect length to go from Digatone to Syntakt. Yeah, that's next, actually. Funny you mentioned that. That is next on my agenda, is balanced cables that I'm going to manufacture myself. And it'll be dope, because they'll glow in the dark just like everything else I do. Or they'll be completely transparent, like these suckers. But let's get into making some music. So here we go. Come on, people, toss a thumbs up. Yeah, actually, you're right, Modular Bias. If you're hanging out here in the stream right now and you haven't subscribed to the EZBOT YouTube channel, please do so, because more people will get to hang out and watch the stream. We have a thriving community in the Discord, which will have a link in the comment section for you. And yeah, throw a like on the video. Really help me out. I appreciate it. But let's get into making some music. So here we go. We're going to turn on the Mood MKII. So micro looper is on the right side. So when I hit this button, it'll engage a micro looper. And it's just always listening. This blinking light lets you know how long the segment is before it repeats to the start of the loop. I don't know everything about the Mood MKII. This thing's ridiculous. It's very deep, considering that it's just a guitar pedal. I guess all Chase Bliss pedals are that way, but that I don't know. So I watched the video tutorial. I read the manual. There's too much for me to memorize right away, so I don't know everything about it, so I can't answer all your questions, but I can try. And I can always just grab this since we are live on stream. But I already found like a chord. I'm going to use this A minor chord. I've got it up a bit higher. Just a simple A minor triad, just in a higher octave. And I have the sample rate on the Mood MKII at its highest sample rate, so that when I dial the sample rate down, it'll pitch it down, but still have pretty good audio quality. We'll go like this. Turn on the delay now for the reverb. What we did was play an A minor chord. Try the time stretch mode. So we're already at this like sweet spot for me to sample. Just wait till we get it in the Digitakt. It's gonna sound so much better. There, let's get it. Sampling. Boom. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Somehow it sounds like even better in my Digitakt. Okay. Let's save it. And we'll call it Mood. Moody. Yeah. Number 8. Track 8. Chord. Source. Okay. I've already got the LFO set up because I was making dubby chords. It's actually in like a perfect spot right now. So let me just tell you about what's happening, why it doesn't sound exactly the same. I have the filter brought down on the sample here that I put on track 8 that we just sampled from the Mood. If I open up the filter, you can hear it normally. If I bring this LFO depth down, here we go. So here's the sample. Sounds great. We have it on, I have it in slice mode just for fun because it has a bunch of different spots in there, and I'll let the Digitakt just mess with it. We're going to play with the envelopes quite a bit and the delay. So it doesn't really matter that the slices won't be perfect. And that's the thing about the Digitakt's new modes. If you don't have like perfect loops loaded in here, they're not as useful as just the regular one-shot mode. The one-shot mode's still the best mode on the Digitakt, but these ones are fun to experiment with. And that's kind of what we're going to do now. So I'm going to leave it on slice mode for now. Maybe we'll mess with those in a second. But I think we're already going to be in a sweet spot that's going to sound good. So I'm going to bring this filter way down. I'm going to give it a little bit of resonance. And then we're going to use this LFO, which is, let me talk about some of the clocking. So the way that LFOs work on the Digitakt is when I have it at the multiplier at 1 BPM, which is what it says right now, that means that the LFO range is not going to be multiplied by the BPM. It's going to be starting using the BPM as its clocking source for this LFO's frequency. So when I have the 1 here and the speed set to 16, it's going to take 4 bars for it to achieve its full phase of this random LFO shape. Meaning I'm going to get these nice variations across 4 bars. If I brought the speed down to 8, it would take 8 bars to accomplish that. Brought it to 4, 2, so on and so forth. You get it. So if I wanted it to be quicker, of course, you just bring the speed up. And if you want to double it, you can just double the BPM. The BPM of your LFO's frequency is derived from the BPM on the Digitakt. That's always how it gets it, no matter what. Even if it's in free running mode, that's where the BPM comes from. You can go past this section and it just goes into this multiplier that is not synced to the clock. But I still think like it's gonna like still derive the clock, or no, it's synced by 120 BPM. That's how that one works. So these free ones just use 120 BPM. I'm pretty sure. maybe I'm forgetting, but I think that's where it comes from. Is just those ones are just defaulting to 120 as the frequency. Check it. Look in your manual. So I'm using this random LFO because we're making these dubby chord stabs. And I'm going to turn up the depth, and it's going to open up this filter for us at random intervals. So we keep getting this new chord, or this new filtered sound. I also have the mode on trig so that every time this sample gets triggered, it's going to have a new frequency set to the filter cutoff, which is very good for making longer dubby sounds. Let's put it on a couple different spots. I'm gonna go into the second filter and get some of that low end out of there, because it's got some juicy low end that I don't need. We got a bunch of reverb, we got a lot of delay. In my reverb, I've got adjusted a bit. Get a little high end out of that reverb. We have a long decay on it, and in the delay, we got it on ping pong, stereo width up really high, but not all the way, so it's not doing full ping pongs. Feedback, we actually turn that up. We just don't want to go above 90 because it's too much. All right, let's go to our kick drum. I do have a kick sample in here that I like already. For whatever reason. Oh, there we go. We were listening to that sample with the Octatrack effects that whole time. Which we don't want to do. Let's actually hear it again without that. Oh, it's so good. All right. We're just gonna start with this, because we're making some like deep house type stuff. Or dub. We're gonna go a little deep. All right. This is so nice, because you could have like, you could make one pattern last a really long time with music like this. Especially because of this evolving chord, and now we're gonna use the bass notes to kind of like drive this song. Writing music with in 8-bar increments right now, so I'm using 128 steps, and I have this track at half scale so that I can capture 8 bars of movement. I'll probably quantize it afterwards if I play this live. I wanted to go. That's what I want. That note, put it here. We want this trigger length to be about 32 steps long, I think. Copy that one. Wait, should I have done that? Oh, that's good. Let's go back here. Throw down some hats. Pan a little bit to the left. Right now we're gonna start with just 16 steps just to make it easy for us to write some music, but then we'll expand it out. All right, let's get this recorded in. Let's give this a little bit actually no, I think I do like where that patch is at. Mind you, we just did this in seconds. So this combo made that happen because it was so easy for me to generate a sound that was easy. Let's try and rephrase that. It was so simple to generate a sound that sounded good with these two into the Digitakt. Now, like we're not done, but I think there's a lot more that we could do here. And I think I want to see what it's like to run some effects. So let's take some sounds out. Gotta remember. Play with some panning on this one. I have an Analog Heat Mark II permanently connected to my Phantom 6. Is it worth upgrading to the Analog Heat plus effects for that use case? I mean, for the Phantom 6, probably. I mean, are you using the Phantom 6 as a groove box? I don't want to dive too deep into that question, but if you're using it as a groove box, then maybe not as much. But if you're using it as just a synthesizer, then yeah, absolutely. Maybe the next EZBOT Discord compilation should be dub techno. I mean, that's something I feel like I'm actually pretty decent at. I mean, I'm not like great at every music genre that I try and play, but I feel like I can do the dub sounds pretty well. It's a sound that I gravitate towards. That would be cool for me. But it's always up to a vote, Levi. So that has to be voted in of 3 choices. And yeah, hopefully that gets voted in. I still haven't, we've got the masters from the last compilation, but I haven't put them on a tape for people yet. Yeah, right? Yeah. Just remembered something. God damn it. All right. Let's continue writing this track. I need to print out like a sheet of all the effects that are in the new performance template because there's so many, I don't remember what they are or where they are. Like I need to be able to see them. Let's see. I think I can pull it up here. That'll make it a lot easier for me. Ultimate effects template. 1.13. All right, here's the layout. Okay, let's go back to space. I want to add some like Tom in there? What do we want to do here? Nah. Actually do kind of like that. Alright, let's expand this one out a bit. Copy that. Alright. Now we gotta think. We need to say something. What do we tell the vocoder on here? We could take the vocoder, run that into mood, and we'll see what happens next. Hey friends, hope you're doing well tonight. Right on, Isaac. That is a great thing to say. Gene Stalniker. Sorry. So far you only have 2 electron boxes. That's a lot of electron boxes, for sure. chicken sandwich, 4.99 Popeye's chicken sandwich. Dope. How do you do the evolving pad? Okay, so the evolving pad is a chord from the OP1, processed by Mood MKII, sampled into the Digitakt, and then there's then it's filtered, really very filtered. And then in 4-bar increments, every 32 steps, that filter is being opened up at random amounts through a random LFO. It's a really common technique, if I'm being honest. This is like how very common for making dub or deep house chord stabs like that, or evolving pads. Yeah, okay, so I need something to say. What mixer are you using? The mixer that's running, like, taking all of this and putting it into my computer for you to hear right now is the SSL Big 6. So it's a big honkin' analog beauty that frankly I don't need, and I think it's a bit overkill for what I'm doing. And honestly has quite a few disadvantages when it comes to doing stuff like live streaming, as it doesn't have like easy to make mix downs that you can just do a single press and switch to this mix down, switch to this mix down, switch to this mix down. You can't do that with the Big 6 like you can on a RME Fireface, for instance, which is my other interface that is at work usually. Octatrack is our mixer. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Why is it that like that I just fall apart and I can see my body falling apart onto these boxes? Partly because they're black. Black as midnight, black as death. Okay. I still need something to say. Popeye's chicken sandwich? I don't want to say that. You want one of those roadcasters for podcasting? Everyone seems to love those. Do they? I didn't know that. I'll have to check it out. Octatrack trumps every other mixer, almost. The Octatrack's just a lot of fun. I would say that it's really a great like mixer in terms of the classical sense of mixing audio together, but I would say that it does a great job of processing several pieces of gear into a cohesive mix. But as far as like EQing and all that kind of stuff, I'd rather use like a Yamaha MG10 XU or something, just like a simple $200 mixer for mixing, like all my instruments together that way. All right. Let's vocode some chords. Vocoding chords. Vocoding. Because we need a vocal sample. I'm going to time stretch the vocal sample so it sounds really gritty, and we're going to put some echoes on that and EQ it a bit on the Digitakt. But I need something to say. The Octatrack is a monster. All right, somebody tell me what to say here. We need some line. We need a line. We need a line. Something. I want something poetic. Give me something poetic. I guess. Say techno bots are cool robots. No hard bots, only easy bots. All right, we'll try them both and see how it turns out. We're just gonna do this. This D chord here. No hard bots. We'll say techno bots are cool robots. We'll start with what Gene said here.
Techno bots are cool robots.
Oh, here we go. We already got it. This is so good. I love that. This is why this thing's sick. Like, that is just, it's just instant inspiration. Let's just crop that very beginning part. Okay. Okay. Our cool robots. Track 5. Load error? The hell does that mean? What do you mean, load error? Oh, you know what? I think that sample's too big and I'm out of, I think I'm out of sample memory in this project. Hmm. 97 per, I have 1 megabyte free of memory. We gotta take something out of the project. Damn it. What do we do? What do we do here? I don't want to take something out of this project. Not yet. Let's go into... Let's just look at these sample slots. What's this sound like? Oh no, that's going. Let's clear it. Let's get that out of there. Here we go. We'll replace that with our cool robots. Aha! Worked. So, something, when this happens to you, like it just happened to me, and you had to replace something, that sample I replaced is not used in any song. I don't know why that's still there. But what you can do is go into your source menu. When you're on a sample slot, you hold function and hit yes, and it takes you straight in to replace the current slot. So it's really useful for when you're doing what I just went through. So here we go. We got our vocal sample. We're going to mess with it a bit. Let's hear just that track. I don't know if you knew this, but you can actually solo on the Digitakt. You just need an external controller, but I don't have one set up right now. But you can solo tracks on, I think, both these devices, but definitely on the Digitakt. Oops. Oh, it's got a cool rhythm to it. have this only play on 2 of 2. The length is up all the way. Not appropriate for this. Oh, let's try that out. Here we go. Right now we're playing a recorded 4-bar loop of this whole performance. We can switch over to just a recording of this. So now we have something new. We improvised this live. trying to find this, like, I can hear this scratchy sound. Not coming from there. This purple effects pedal is the Chase Bliss MOOD MKII. Micro looper, delay, reverb, time stretch, all sorts of fun effects. I think maybe the scratchy sound that I'm hearing is my headphones. I don't know if you guys are hearing it. It's only in my right ear. And according to my input capture here, it's not happening. So I think it's my headphone mixer. I have this cheap headphone mixer that I've been using. Yeah, it's just cheap headphone mixer. It's not this stuff at all. I unplugged the Mood just because I thought maybe it was the problem. But it wasn't. I'm the problem, as per usual. Once again, LaCroix, if you're watching, which you're probably not. Whatever. All right, let's take a little breather break. We got some nice, I'd say deep house, right? Isn't that what I made? Let's see if I can fix this. I don't know. So deep. We need this kick to take a break now and then. So let's make it longer. Let's actually make it half scale. And then put more kicks down. Copy that page, paste, paste, remove that one, maybe do that. You know what I want to do? I'm gonna sidechain this bass line. Let's go in here. Let's leave it open right there. Thick. I placed these two new notes into the sequence, and I also didn't sidechain this very end section, so there should be just more anticipation get created right there. Let's get like a crash or something. I want like a, maybe on these ones. No, go to this here. Let's make this a little bit more interesting. Add some variations. Maybe we'll have this be like whoa. No. That was pretty good, yeah. Maybe we filter a little bit. Wasn't even sidechain? Oh, I reloaded it. I had it saved, I reloaded it. I didn't have the sidechain on there. We have that sidechain pumping on the bass only, which I think sounds really nice. This maybe needs to not happen as often. Maybe just every 4 times. What is that? Does anybody know why my hi-hat is suddenly so quiet? What happened to it? Oh, it got filtered. Why did it get filtered? When did I do... What was I trying to filter? Alright, let's do that again. So I feel like we had like a good performance. I want to get a good performance going. Okay. We're like really close to having a good performance of this. Nice groove, I think. And it was so easy to do. Because this thing just makes it really easy. Let's say what's up to the chat. Chat. The mono machine is an old Electron. Wow. How soon till Matt gets the heat plus effects? Place your bets. I don't know. Honestly, to be fair, like what I really want to buy, what I want to put my money towards right now is getting the Melbourne Instruments Nina. That thing is amazing. I got to try it at Super Booth, and that like rotary knob, the motorized, I think it's using drone motors, which are really quiet and just like very, I don't know, they're good, right? They're rated for like 10 billion spins or something. It's so fast and so seamless. It works so well. The screen is so nice, that red screen. Like I'm in love with that synthesizer. I think it's totally worth it. So, but it's a lot of money. I'm hoping I wish I could work a deal out with them. Like send me one and I'll just play with it on my stream all the time. But I don't know. I do want one though. I want it more than I want the analog heat plus effects. Do record the performance real time into Ableton Live. I'm recording this into Bitwig right now in real time. The whole stream. The whole darn thing. Thomas, what's up, dude? What up? Yeah, the motorized knobs are awesome. I really want the Nina. The price tag is brutal. $3,500. That's how much I spent on my Prophet 5 keyboard version. That's a big old synth. And it's a classic, and you know it's amazing. It was $35, and that's the most I've ever spent on a synthesizer. And to do it again, it's a hard pill. So that's a lot of money. So I'm having a really hard time spending that money, but I really do want it. Yeah, right? It would be fun to watch the Octatrack LFO make all it. I don't think that the LFO doesn't make the knob spin, but that you could have a bunch of patches sequenced on the Octatrack and then watch it do that. Watch it like jump from patch to patch to patch. That would be really sick. I think. I don't know. I've spent 25K on Cure already. Yeah. Well, I think like as you're, any guitar player too is doing the same thing, right? Over time, the amount of amplifiers and speaker cabs and guitar pedals and different guitars they have, plus their computer, plus their outboard gear for recording. And we're all doing that. We're all investing all of our money into our audio gear. I think that's all right. I think that's okay. It's not like 25K into your audio gear. Yeah, it's a lot of money in retrospect, but I think it's totally worth it. Especially since like we have no idea what happens after we die. Like this might be your only chance to play with all that music gear, so do it. I don't know. That is a professional podcaster. Who is me? Come on, me? Podcaster. Your mic go up in value over time, just saying. Yeah, I agree. There's some stuff. Lumo, what's up? Oliver, my dude. How's it going? Good to see that you're here. Oliver needs to spend more money on his gear. I need to give Oliver some money. Hopefully soon. I do want the analog heat plus effects. All right. Everybody wants it. Why wouldn't I want it? It's going to be sick. For sure. The EZBOT. What's up, Hecklifter? Michael. Honey Smack. What's up, homies? Let's all spend more money on gear. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm saying. Don't forget to pick up your Electron risers, folks. I really could never go back to not using these, to be honest. After doing it, like not having my cables mashed up against my Octatrack, like I never want to have that be a part of my workflow again. Ever. It's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna let that happen to me. You don't let it happen to you either. Today's Mother's Day. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know you had a mother? You should probably call her or them. and tell them you love them. I went over to my mother's today. I brought my dog, who proceeded to dig holes all over her yard. And then, as I sprayed her with the hose, digged muddy holes in the muddy water. Got mud on everything. But it was nice. We cooked her some breakfast, a brunch, with my dad, who is from Brooklyn and has a very strong New York accent. We're Italians in my family, Italian Germans, and which didn't fare well in World War II, as they shouldn't have. Right? But yeah, so I was hanging out with my fam, which was cool. I hope everyone else did that too. Yeah, LaCroix, sponsor this man. Sponsor me. You're Korean and German? Wow, that's a combo. Yes. Sorry to hear about your mother, Jean. Like Vanilla Ice would say, my mama has passed, but it's a sad life. Yeah. Okay, I didn't realize. I don't know if that's what you're actually saying. EML Electrocomp 400 401 now going for 12K. Oh, is that a piece of kit that's now going for 12K? I have no it. Like, there's nothing in my studio that's appreciating in value other than maybe my anniversary edition Octatrack, which it shouldn't appreciate in value. It's the same old Octatrack. It's just literally red buttons. And the logo. I guess it has a different screen print on the metal. But is there anything I have that's worth more money now than when I bought it? ChordBot. I have an Isla Instruments black ChordBot. That's actually worth more money than when I bought it, which is bizarre because, Isla, anybody who's building something, I have the utmost respect for them and I love them to death for creating musical instruments. But the build quality on the ChordBot was not good. It wasn't a great build, but it was the first thing that they made, so we give them a free pass. The ChordBot happens to now be worth like 400. I could sell my ChordBot for like $450. The firmware's not finished at all. It's missing a whole bunch of the features. I don't think they're gonna finish it because I don't think many people are buying them anymore. They are buying the Isla SP2400, which I think a lot of people really like, and they are adding a lot to it, and it has like a really nice build quality. For me, I need my gear. I just bumped this. I need my gear to be in good condition. Like, I need it to be robust and strong and look nice. Because I'm spending a lot of money on it, I expect it to be a beautiful instrument. Like, when you go buy a guitar, you play the guitar, you're like, oh my God, the tone of this guitar, it's so good. I love the pickups they chose. I love the action on the neck. I love the wood that they used. I love how long the neck is. It's a beautiful paint job on the guitar. Like, you just love that. Like, why don't we get that same attention on these pieces of kit here? Like, why don't I have the option of a different paint job or something? Not that I want a different, I mean, I like the black stuff, the black paint on these pieces of gear, but like, they're the same price, and there's actually a luthier making it by hand. Like, I don't know what's happening with these. Eventually, these are just going to be made by some AI overlord. Speaking of which, I actually went into Chat GPT. It's actually turned out really well. It's turned out really, really well, I gotta tell you. So I went to Chat GPT 4, which I pay for. I love Chat GPT. I like AI stuff. I think it's cool. I like the future. I'm obsessed with science fiction. I love the idea of the future, and I know AI is the future, so I'm kind of all for it. So, if it makes me obsolete as a musician, whatever, I'm gonna be obsolete at some point anyway. I mean, that's kind of a dystopian perspective, but anyhow, I think it's cool. I like AI. And I went into GPT-4 and I said, because I recently learned how to play Virtual Insanity on piano, because I was like, I want to learn this song. I love Jamiroquai. I love Virtual Insanity. It's one of my favorites. I love jazz pop. Like, anything that's like jazzy and then also pop is just right up my alley. So anyhow, I went into ChatGPT and I said, give me an 8-bar chord progression that's reminiscent of Jamiroquai, or, kind of like use the stylized of Jamiroquai. Give me jazzy chords with a pop music progression, and it did, and it did not disappoint. The chords that it gave me, it didn't spit out MIDI or anything like that. It just gave me, C#9 or whatever. And I took those chords and I brought it into Bitwig and I threw it into one of my piano multi-samples that I have in Bitwig, and it was awesome. The progression that it gave me was awesome. Like I was like, because I'm not a great piano player, that's not my thing. I'm a guitar player and a electron dork. Besides being an electron dork and a guitar player, I can kind of play the piano. Not very well enough to like write music for myself and to like play in chords and stuff. And I know some music theory because I did go to music school. But I didn't go to music school for like music theory. Theory was just a part of music school. So a lot of that stuff, like, I'll forget my theory. Like, I can read notation very slowly, but I can read notation fine. But it is it's a slog. Anyhow, it was really cool using AI to give me suggestions for chords. It wasn't like, they're just suggestions. That's what it gives. It's giving me an idea. I don't need to use its idea, but I can take its idea and formulate something else. It's just chord names. So I took those chord names and they were so poppy and jazzy and fun. And I'm actually going to sample it into my Digitakt with a perfect 8-bar loop. And then I'm going to use the slice mode on the Digitakt and slice up those piano sounds. And I'm excited to do that. I'm playing I'm playing 2 shows this month. One on the 23rd, which will be dope. And then a Steely Dan. Yeah, that's what Nick from Patchworks is always sampling, is Steely Dan stuff. And then playing another show. I forget the name of it, but it's like, it's much bigger than the shows I put on. They've got like some really big artists. And it's put on by some folks that do shows at, do you shred EZBOT? I do. Love the Arc Warden shirt? Wait a second. Laurent Grattan. You win I wish I could give you a prize. I can't give you a prize, but I would give you a prize for knowing who this sucker is. It actually says Best Zet, because Zet is the name of the Arc Warden. Zet was Arc Warden. Back in the day, I played Dota. Years ago. I haven't played Dota in a bunch of years. I loved Dota 2. But I played Dota 2 and I was, I had like 4,000 MMR, which is pretty good. I'm not going to say it's not bad. I was a decent Dota player, but I wasn't like awesome, right? Because now MMR goes up really high, which is your matchmaking rating. Anyway, I played this hero called Arc Warden. That's what this shirt is. I still think it's like the best game ever made. Ever. I don't think there's a game, in my opinion, that compares to how good that game is. There's just nothing out there. Although I did really enjoy Hyperlight Drifter a lot. That was a really fun game. And Cave Story. Preach. That's what I'm saying, dude. I'm a gamer. I play games. I wouldn't say I'm a gamer. That's kind of like the wrong attitude because I don't play that much. But I do enjoy playing games. My PC is a gaming PC. I'm playing the new Jedi Survivor right now, which is really great because I liked the first one. But I will say that everyone is right. It is not optimized. It's optimized very poorly. I have a 3080 in that computer with 32 gigs of RAM and an i9 with like 12 cores or something. And it's getting like 50 FPS, which is playable. And if I didn't love, the game that came before it, Fallen Order, I probably would be frustrated with this like a lot of other people are, but I'm not like one of the babies in the comments section on Steam. It's just crying about it every game. But yeah, Kev Human, I play guitar. I can play guitar pretty decently. I've been playing for a long time. I sang and played guitar in a band for a very long time. And I've written hundreds of songs. And I can shred the guitar decently. My pinky is, watch this. See how my pinky moves? The tendon on my pinky fell onto the other side of my knuckle, and I can't do anything about it. So the doctor, I went and saw a hand specialist, and he said that the surgery to repair my pinky would cause more damage and that it would affect my ability to play guitar at all. So I've just said, okay, well, I guess I can only play guitar with 4 fingers. Like, what's that jazz guitar player? Got that song, Tiger. Only plays with 2 fingers. Django. Thank you. Django Reinhardt. That's my boy. Django. So I used to study Django. I don't know, obviously not that much since I forgot his name. But I studied jazz guitar under this guy, Dave Head, out in Redmond, Washington, here in Washington. And he was awesome. He's the best. I love that guy. Very spiritual guitar player, to say the least. But I studied guitar with him, and he loved Django Reinhardt so much that was always his suggestion, was like, learn this Django. And if you could learn this Django Reinhardt song, you're going to just, it's going to blow your mind. It's going to open your mind up. But oh my God, everything Django has ever written, whether you're playing it with 2 fingers or not, is incredibly tough to play. I mean, that guy shreds like nothing else. You have Django's Anthology CD? Yeah. Oh yeah, so I was playing a lot of Django, trying to play Django, but I like Django, I have, basically a missing finger when I play, but it doesn't stop me from doing what I need to do in terms of a singer-songwriter, and that's like my passion really, is like the lyrics and the melody, even more so than the shredding, but I am somebody who avidly believes in guitar solos. I'm a big fan of like Pinkerton and the Blue Album, and I was just like, Weezer kind of is, died in my opinion, but I mean, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about Weezer now. But in terms of like the Blue Album and Pinkerton, like they were so awesome, those guitar solos that was happening in there, like they were just so great, so fun. He was a metal guitar player, Rivers Cuomo was. Yeah. So glad Weezer stopped making records after Pinkerton. Yeah, very funny, Tim. I wish, kind of. Like remember when the Green Album came out? Like how excited everybody was for the Green Album, and then you heard it and you're like, what? It was still better than Maladroit, which is I think what came after the Green Album, but it was just not the same. The guitar solos literally were they just followed the vocal lead or the chorus and it was just so boring. I was like, anybody could do that. Like, where's your shredder skills that you had before? Just gone, I guess. I don't know. Let's switch back over here. So, I mean, like what I wanted to do today was write some music because I am playing these shows and I want to have some new music. And we wrote this like deep house tune pattern. Like there's still room. So like people talk to me, I hear this a lot. They're like, you have so much going on the table. There's so many tracks. There's the Octatrack, the Digitakt, the Digitone, the Syntakt, like 24 tracks right here, plus 8 tracks more of whatever we have, even though we're using it as a performance mixer. Like it's too much, right? If I had all 24 tracks playing at the same time, yeah, maybe it would be too much. But because of the way that I approach the setup, it doesn't feel like too much. I just use certain elements from certain machines when I need to. I honestly am not using my Digitone very much. The Syntakt has done what I thought it would do, and it's become this thing that like fills all the gaps in my music, and there's not as much room for Digitone, except for on this track. I love what the Digitone's doing there with that like distorted arpeggio. I love the Digitone. That's not even what I'm getting at, but it just hasn't been a part of my music workflow as much lately since I got the Syntakt. Syntakt has been slowly just taking over everything the Digitone does. Although there is, I think on this one, whoa. Oh no, it's bank 4, pattern 3. Those chords, those are the Digitone. I got lost in that song immediately because I do like that song. But listen to this. So this is a track that I'm really into this track. I'm really into the deep house thing that we were working on, but I used this to demo the performance template, and I'm not very far along in it, but you can't do this on the Digitakt. This is a Syntact analog synth sound. You know what I'm saying? Like, Digitakt can do that. That is so sick. And I love that kind of sound. I love industrial type music. I love industrial. Like the really dark techno stuff. The borderlines industrial, I also really like. I guess I just like it all, to be honest. I like pop music too. But the Digitakt can't really do that. I mean, it does some really dark, gritty stuff. Like, I have this sound pack. Like, listen to this stuff. This can't do those sounds either, but that one sound I showed you in particular. That was really nice sounding. Well, I'm getting inspired a little bit. All right, let's go back to what we were working on. That'd be kind of cool. What if we layer this bass on top of this bass? How does this one go? D5 to 32 steps. Half speed. C5 to 32 steps. E4 for 31 steps. Whatever. For 32 again. Just copy that. Paste. And E4 for 31. Okay, whatever. We'll do E4 for 31. I think this has to go up an octave. Yeah, that's actually pretty sick. We have the chorus on here. Okay, one thing I wish they would add to the freaking Digitakt right away. Listen up, Electron. Give me chorus. For God's sake, give me chorus on the Digitakt. This is driving me insane. Why don't I not have chorus on the Digitakt? You're telling me the DSP can't handle chorus? It's just basically another delay. I know there's room for it. Put it in there. I need it. I need it on my sounds. At least the Digitone has it. That's actually really sick. This is obviously heavy in chorus. Okay. So this will be like the... I don't know what this will be. Build? Should we run this into the effects block so we can duck it? Let's see how that sounds. Now they're matched. But now it's a little quiet. Hello, friends. Questions. There are some questions. Yeah, the ARP is sweet. Should use the OT ARP sequencer roll on 303. Yeah. That's a good point. I don't know if I want 303 in that track. Could be cool. Pitch bend on. I want to do 303. Toby wanted to know, or EZBOT wanted to know what the pad was. The pad is actually, I thought maybe it was a sample of the Prophet 5, but it's not. It is one of the synthesizers in the OP1, run into the Mood MKII, sampled into the Digitakt with a bunch of reverb, delay, and then a random LFO, re-triggering the filter cutoff at different positions. So that it just evolves more. 303 lead. Yeah, I don't think so. Needs more 303. Yeah, I think that this one, maybe not doing the 303 for this one. But it turned out really good, and hopefully I'll play this at the next show. All right, let's see if we can perform it out, see if we can get a good take. See if we can get a good take. Start with the pad only. Okay. Okay. Bad take. Here we go. This is how I practice for shows, by the way. I do it over and over and over and over and over again until it's like this perfect thing. I don't know, just like you would with anything else, I guess. That's a stupid thing to talk about. The easy drummer one on it. I mean, that's not the right effect for this song. was not the right effect for that song. Damn it. We're really close to something. We're not quite there, but we're really close to something. Let's just do one more try. One more try. Right? Still gotta bring that pad in. Go do this. Okay. Probably should do it on the one. Yeah. Of course, I play a wrong note at the very end, but pretty close, pretty close. So we did that from scratch together using the OP1, Digitakt, Digitonal Syntakt, Octatrack, Analog Heat, just for fun, even though it's not really doing that much, and the Mood Mark II. And I think that will conclude the stream, because it's been 2 hours, and 2 hours is the cutoff. So thanks everyone for hanging out and sitting with me through the stream while I write some music. And thank you for your suggestions. Really just keeping me company is the best part. So if you want to do more of this, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, like this video, and join the Discord where all these lovely people that are chatting are hanging out pretty often, and we talk about all this gear, how to use it, different tips, tricks, and techniques, different styles, give each other ideas, encourage each other to make more music. It's a great community, so I welcome you to come and hang out with us and be a part of that, because it's fun to be a part of a music community, especially one that's not full of jerks. And ours is not. It's full of great people, so come on down. I'm Matthew, aka EZBOT. I'll see you next Sunday for another stream. Everybody, call your mom if you haven't yet.